Come on then, let's go get a ferry.
I've been to Hong Kong plenty of times. In fact, when I just lived over at the border in Shenzhen, I used to come for the day, just to see all the British road signs. Make you feel like you're at home. Anyway, this is first time I've gone off at beaten track, and I can't wait to show you where I've been.
It looks like it's going to cost £2 to go on a ferry that takes around 20 minutes. There's shitloads of ferries here, you can go all over the place.
I'm off to Lamma Island. It's so surreal to think that it's a 20-minute journey from here, centre of Hong Kong. Most crammed in place in the whole world.
And a short hop across the sea on a little ferry.
It's like a different world. You can catch the ferry from Central Pier number 4, and you can choose which side of Island you want to go to. I'm off to west side. And all being lucky, I'll be able to walk to the other side and get boat back from there. And it's easy to pay. You can just use your octopus card. I thought that we were going to get a free trip back, to be honest, because there were no barriers when we were coming back. But it just turns out that you pay when you get back to Central Pier, because it's so remote out there. There's no point building infrastructure. Well, I say remote. There's the world's biggest power station on the island. That might have come as a bit of a surprise for local residents when they reclaimed some land from the sea and knocked half a mountain down to build it.
Well, that was lovely. I sat next to this Chinese family. It looks lovely. It's crazy to think that there's millions of people that live 10 minutes away on a boat, but these people just live like this.
Hello, bye-bye.
Wow, the sun's out as well.
There's plenty of things that you can do on island, as long as you like walking and beaches, and little cafes, and fish as well. But there's no cars. They don't even have roads wide enough. So local people just go around on bikes, or if you've got a bit of heavy stuff to move, there's these little buggies. I went on family trail. It took about 2 hours, which were perfect, because it timed it right. We were now coming back for the last ferry. Even though it felt really remote, there was still a bank on there. There's HSBCs everywhere in Hong Kong. Do you know the logo's even on the banknotes? The most craziest thing I were finding about this whole experience, that while I were walking round, I kept bumping into white teenage girls, and I were thinking to myself, it's so surreal to think that your dad came over here after university, got a really good job in Hong Kong, and now he's able to afford to live on this magical island. And you just think it's normal. Whereas there's loads of other white kids that have been in your dad's year at school, and they're just still moping around Yorkshire, feeling sorry for himself in rain. Oh, what a lifestyle they live out here. There's actually a white person smell now. I know exactly what it is, because when I go back from China to my mum's house, I sit there on the sofa, and the house that I've been and brought up in, it somehow smells different. And I always used to be confused when, I'd go back to China and say I had a connecting flight in Frankfurt. I'd been at the gate and I'd think, why do these Chinese people smell like Chinese people? They've been in Europe on their holidays for however long. They're getting on plane to go back to China. How the hell is that even possible? Have they not soaked up some, smells of pizza and sandwiches? Anyway, there was this woman that were with her son, and the son were older than me, and the woman were a little bit older than my mum, and I smelt the smell, and I just thought, yeah, Chinese people have a smell, and white people have a smell.
I've come on a mystical journey to Stanley. It's a town that's not too far away from the city centre. It took half an hour on a bus, which had some of the craziest corners that I've ever known.
I'm starting to wonder where all poor people live. Wherever I go, there just seems to be these amazing houses, and well-looked-after beaches, public toilets that you could probably eat your dinner off. There's a special bit of water at each beach that's just designated off for swimming, and lifeguards present wherever you go. And look at this, an outside barbecue place, so you can come with your mates and have a nice little barbecue on an evening. And it all just seems so organised, despite there being millions of people living here. Something weird about Hong Kong. There's loads of place names that are straight from UK. There's a Central, a Victoria Peak, even a Sheffield Road. It's just like somebody's copy and pasted bits of Britain onto the South China coast. Well, that's colonialism for you. It run under British rule here from 1841 until 1997. when it were handed back to China under a one country, two system deal. That were meant to guarantee Hong Kong's autonomy, but we all know how that one's turning out. And after a day cruising around, I got back on double-decker bus. There's two wheels at back, you know. It feels like you're flying around on a big land whale. I just don't understand how it's so organised but wild at the same time. It all just gets turned into this generic white people smell. And even Borwen, he used to say to me, yeah, you smell like white people. Because I can't smell it now that I've been in China for a few months. But when you first get back and you land, you're like, yeah, you can smell it. In fact, when I went to somewhere like Egypt, I'm sure that smelled a bit like China. Anyway, we've got sidetracked.